Hey, I'm making this video today to talk about something that's really pissing me off. It's the state of the movie industry in 2024. Now, hear me out. I love movies. As a kid, I wanted to make movies. I wanted to be Steven Spielberg. I actually went to film school. I did work in films and made independent film and television for a long time. The reason I'm actually in YouTube is because I don't work in it anymore, but don't want to give up the idea of creating video and making content. I have a lot of other channels on YouTube, as I may have said in other videos, and if you want to check, you'll notice in the description all my other channels. I started this channel as just a chance to talk about the stuff that really bothers me, and this is what's bothering me right now: the state of the movie business in 2024. I get that we're coming off of a strike, and so there was a lot of movies that would have gotten made that didn't get made in 2023 because of a writer's strike or because of an actor's strike. But that's not it. The ideas are gone. The excitement is gone. They don't know how to advertise and market and get us excited about a movie anymore. When I look back at 2023, and I think that the best excitement they could give to a movie was by taking Barbie and Oppenheimer and mixing them together, it tells me that they're just desperate to get people's asses in seats. So I'm looking at the summer movies, and none of them seem interesting to me. In fact, nothing gets me to go to the movie. Now, look, I thought about this. Maybe I'm just too old. Maybe I'm not part of the demographic of moviegoers that they're trying to appeal to anymore. But I don't think that's the case, because I've loved movies my whole life. Even at my age, I would be interested in an interesting movie. I still, when it comes streaming, go see the Trolls sequel and the, Despicable Me sequels. I'm like a kid when it comes to movies. I'll see anything. I'll go see the Star Wars movies. I'll see the Marvel movies. But what's happened that I can't go see any of these movies anymore? I don't care. I'll tell you what's happened. There's no original ideas. They know that a movie is literally only in theaters for a few weeks, so therefore they need to have a movie that everyone wants to rush and see. Well, it costs a lot of money to come up with an original script and an original idea and then get everybody to show up on that opening weekend. I don't even think it's possible to do anymore. So what you need a sequel to a big hit. You need Mission Impossible. You need the fourth in the Spider-Man series. You need something that people are like, I want to go opening weekend, because the movies are only in theaters for a couple of weeks and then they're gone. Dune was good and everyone wanted to see it, but Dune 2 is better because it's the second one and it will draw people in faster. And even still, within 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks tops of that movie hitting the theater, Dune will be streaming for free or for $4 at home to rent. Why should I go pay $20 to sit in a theater, a person, when I just have to wait 8 weeks and it's either going to be streaming free or for maybe $1 a person for a family of four? I have a big screen TV just like everybody else. I don't think I'm missing that much. And to say, well, you got to see it in IMAX, I disagree. I went to see Oppenheimer in IMAX. I can tell you it was not a movie that needed to be in IMAX. Dune, I get it. It's a beautiful looking movie. Well, guess what? It's a beautiful looking movie on my 70-inch screen, and it only costs $4 to watch it. Maybe free if it's streaming on HBO Max. But the bigger problem here is that the movie industry has created now an entire generation of people that were not like the generation that I grew up. I was excited to see a movie when it came in theaters, and I'm a kid of the 70s. I wanted to go see Smokey and the Bandit, and I wanted to go see Star Wars, and in the 80s I wanted to go see The Breakfast Club and Indiana Jones and all of that stuff. And they were movie experiences. Even when VHS came out, even when DVR and DVD came out, it didn't matter, because the movie experience was unlike anything else unto itself. But that has changed. Going to the movies used to be like something special, like getting on an airplane to travel somewhere far away from your house. But now people just jump on a plane all the time. And getting on an airplane is kind of like taking the bus. Well, that's kind of like what movies did to themselves. They cannibalized themselves. They basically turned their special experience with popcorn and candy and soda and an experience into taking the bus. And maybe COVID killed it, but I don't think so. I think it was the lack of original ideas. I think it was leaning into the money and knowing that if they could just make a sequel, they could just make Indiana Jones 5, they could bring people in. If they could just make Mission Impossible 8. The problem is they've cannibalized themselves because now everybody's trained to not see a movie that's not a sequel in theaters because it's not proven, because you're never going to gain an audience mass, and that's what the movie theaters are requiring. If you're going to put a movie out, it better be another one of the Fast and Furious. It better be another one in the Godzilla franchise. How many times is he going to fight King Kong? And it doesn't matter. There's no original ideas. And here's the thing. I recently did take an airplane, and on the airplane, I actually watched American Fiction, which I didn't even think is in a theater near me. And I actually thought, this is a really good movie. And I get why it wasn't in theaters, because it's not going to bring in enough people to fill the audience. But it was a really good movie. And there would have been a time 20 years ago where that movie would have been a big deal. On the flight home, I watched Zone of Interest. And that was a really good movie. That would have been an important movie a long time ago. But now I'm saying my experience with these movies wasn't in a theater. I don't even think Zone of Interest was in a town near me. I couldn't have seen it in a theater if I wanted to. I had to see it on an airplane. And what's starting to happen to me is like when a movie comes out, it's always a sequel. Like, oh, are you excited to go see Inside Out 2? Well, actually, yes, I am, but it's a sequel. Are you excited to go see the next Mad Max? Well, yes, I am, but it's a sequel. Are you excited to see the new Beetlejuice? I am, but it's a sequel. In fact, I think they're going so far back to make a sequel to Beetlejuice because they've already played out every movie that could possibly be a sequel of the last decade. I've been seeing a lot about people who are talking about how the movie industry's dead, and guess what? It's true. And the thing about it is, it was a self-inflicted wound. Movies killed themselves. There was always a sense back in the 80s and 70s that there were popcorn movies, and then there were sort of the independent movies, and studios financed both because you needed to have the scale to keep the industry sustainable. But as soon as you killed one for only sequels, you lost the ability for creativity. And then when all the sequels were played out, you now have nothing. So you have to go to 3s and 4s and reboots and meta remakes, and you've killed yourself. It's like a YouTube channel that's run out of ideas, so they just stop making videos and the channel's dead. I don't know. What do you think? Am I wrong on this? Please, let me know in the comments. But I'm mad as hell, and I don't want to take it anymore. The very thing that I love abandoned me.